By the mid-19th century, the Industrial Revolution was well underway. Also at this time, education reformer Horace Mann brought the beginnings of our conventional educational system from Prussia, a militaristic society with an authoritarian culture. This universal education system was based on divisions of age, grade, and specific subjects, similar to the schools described by Mitra Sugata in this TED Talk.
And you can look far back into the past, but if you look at present day schooling the way it is, it's quite easy to figure out where it came from. Imagine trying to run the show, trying to run the entire planet without computers, without telephones, with data handwritten on pieces of paper and traveling by ships. But the Victorians actually did it. They created a global computer made up of people. It's still with us today. It's called the bureaucratic administrative machine. In order to have that machine running, you need lots and lots of people. They made another machine to produce those people, the school. The schools would produce the people who would then become parts of the bureaucratic administrative machine. They must be identical to each other. They must know three things. They must have good handwriting because the data is handwritten. They must be able to read, and they must be able to do multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction in their head. The Victorians were great engineers. They engineered a system that was so robust that is still with us today, continuously producing identical people for a machine that no longer exists.
Many small parts of our educational system have undergone change, yet the factory line design is still recognizable with its bells, conformity, and separations of age, time, and space. What is not recognizable is our world. Information technology allows people to communicate and share ideas all over the world, from any place in the world, at any time in the world. In 2010, Sir Ken Robinson stated that every country on earth is currently reforming public education for two reasons. In the face of expanding globalization, communities are asking, 1. How do we prepare our children to participate in the economies of the 21st century? And 2. How do we maintain our cultural identity as we interact with others from all over the world? What will those 21st century futures look like? What will students need to be able to do? To successfully meet their unknown futures, in which new technologies will be invented at an astounding rate, students need to be flexible and adaptable, to be self-aware and accountable for their own knowledge, and most importantly, to be capable of self-directed learning. They must also have a capacity for what Gerald N. Tarozzi, National Association of Secondary School Principals Chairman, called in 2008 high-touch abilities, such as compassion, personal rapport, and social interaction. National Chief Technology Officer of Microsoft Education, Cameron Evan, says that there are four 21st century skills that cannot be automated: cultural savvy, creativity and design, narrative storytelling, and remixing, hacking parts to make a new whole. Computers will be able to do even more in the future, and our students will learn to use the technology to accomplish these human tasks. Our greatest hope to prepare students is to provide them with a learning system that empowers them. To be engaged learners, they need to incorporate their strengths and interests. To be active learners, they need to collaborate with others to solve real problems with no one right answer. As creative learning strategist Barbara Bray explains, Students need to be given voice and choice in learning. The information and communication technologies that have so rapidly globalized our world will also help us transform education. Mobile devices will support each student's choice of pace, place, and mode by allowing a blend of online and face-to-face instruction. The flipped classroom, one in which students access information outside of school and then use the information in class as they work collaboratively to solve problems, is a prime example. The role of teachers will shift in this new learning scenario. While their role and support will continue to be essential, no longer will they be the dispensers of knowledge and primary decision makers in the classroom. Instead, their necessity will be in structuring the learning environment and providing a framework of scaffolded support for students as they increase their self-directed and self-assessment skills. Finally, and perhaps most profoundly, our assessments must also evolve to support students' acquisition of 21st century skills. We must examine how to accurately determine if our students are making progress. Formative assessments will be crucial in providing the feedback and feed forward that we want our students to use as they increasingly take self-control of their learning. Our educational system doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to evolve into a student-centered system that promotes personalization versus standardization, in which every child can realize his full potential. Each child has a voice. We need to value it and listen.
Kids already do a lot of learning from adults, and we have a lot to share. I think that adults should start learning from kids. Now, I do most of my speaking in front of an education crowd, teachers and students, and I like this analogy. It shouldn't just be a teacher at the head of the classroom telling students, do this, do that. The students should teach their teachers. Learning between grown-ups and kids should be reciprocal. The reality, unfortunately, is a little different, and it has a lot to do with trust, or a lack of it. Now, if you don't trust someone, you place restrictions on them, right? If I doubt my older sister's ability to pay back the 10% interest I established on her last loan, I'm going to withhold her ability to get more money from me until she pays it back. True story, by the way. Now, adults seem to have a prevalently restrictive attitude towards kids, from every don't do that, don't do this in the school handbook, to restrictions on school internet use. As history points out, regimes become oppressive when they're fearful about keeping control. And although adults may not be quite at the level of totalitarian regimes, kids have no or very little say in making the rules, when really the attitude should be reciprocal, meaning that the adult population should learn and take into account the wishes of the younger population. Now, what's even worse than restriction is that adults often underestimate kids' abilities. We love challenges, but when expectations are low, trust me, we will sing to them. No matter your position or place in life, it is imperative to create opportunities for children so that we can grow up to blow you away. Now, the world needs opportunities for new leaders and new ideas. Kids need opportunities to lead and succeed. Are you ready to make the match? Because the world's problems shouldn't be the human family's heirloom. Thank you.